Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Errol Barnett. At this moment, it is 6 a.m. on Monday, January 20th, which means we're just hours away from the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. We have a live look at the U.S. Capitol for you. This is where he will take the oath of office for a second time. Due to bitter cold temperatures, today's ceremony will actually be inside. The president-elect kicked off a celebration of his return to power with a fireworks show in Virginia. This is Saturday, and you see him there alongside Melania Trump taking in the light show. The Capital One Arena in Washington will be the site for the inaugural parade as well. Also a live viewing of the ceremony. Yesterday, as you see here, crowds packed that 20,000-seat arena for President-elect Trump's campaign-style victory lap.
At noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride.
Most Americans do feel good about what comes next. CBS News polling shows about 60% of the country are optimistic for the next 4 years with Donald Trump as president. As you see there, the other 40% are pessimistic. On President Biden's last full day in office, he reflected on his term at a church in South Carolina.
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. I'm just as passionate about our work as I was as a 29-year-old kid when I got elected. I wasn't old enough to serve yet. I'm in no ways tired.
Now, as we mentioned, today's inaugural events will take place inside due to what you're seeing here, some extreme cold temperatures. And the wind chill in Washington, D.C. will make it feel even colder. And this rare change of plans will go down in history. The last time a presidential swearing-in ceremony was moved inside the Capitol was back in 1985. That's when Ronald Reagan began his second term. Now, despite the changes, spectators will still be able to watch the presidential motorcade travel down Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House to the U.S. Capitol. That's a highlight of today. Trump will then return to the White House before tonight's celebrations. And we have a lot to get to for you this hour, including a look at inaugurations past and a conversation with Martin Luther King III. But we begin with CBS News political reporter Olivia Rinaldi. You've been covering Trump all along the campaign trail, and now as he prepares to return to the White House. Give us a sense, based on his large rally yesterday, Olivia, about his plans for mass deportations. It's almost an item at the top of his agenda.
Yeah, good morning, Errol. It's good to be with you. Day one of Trump's second presidency, and he promises to make good on some of those campaign initiatives that he talked about all throughout the campaign trail that I covered. He says today he is going to implement what he calls, quote, the most aggressive and sweeping effort to restore the U.S. border. That could include everything from directing the military to go down to the border by using an emergency, declaring an emergency at the border, to reinstating the remain in Mexico policy that was part of his first administration. So a lot of plans on immigration today. He says that's going to be a key part of his inaugural address.
An inaugural address can lay out the goalposts for a presidency. What should we expect to hear from Trump this time around when he speaks today?
Well, not only about immigration, but talking about unity, restoring a sense of American unity. He gave a little preview of that yesterday at that rally at Capital One, where he talked about looking forward and what he feels is going to be the next great American revival. He's also going to talk about some of his initiatives, which include getting DEI out of the military, getting the, quote, wokeness out of the military. Also, perhaps using the military to begin the construction of an Iron Dome defensive shield, also giving education back to the states, halting the invasion at the border. These are things that allies and advisors have laid out to CBS News as things he's expected to talk about as their key initiatives for his second administration, Errol. So a lot we're watching there in that inaugural address today.
All right, Olivia Rinaldi joining us from our D.C. bureau. Thanks so much.